John Gill, Exposition of the Bible, verse by verse. Revelations chapter 2, verse 6. Reading the verse from the King James Bible first, quote, "But this thou hast, that thou hatest the deeds of the Nicolaitans, which I also hate," unquote. John Gill, quote, "But this thou hast, that thou hatest the deeds of the Nicolaitans." Though these Christians had left their first love, yet they bore in hatred to the filthy and impure practices of some men, called Nicolaitans. That's Nicolaitans, who committed fornication, adultery, and all uncleanness, and had their wives in common, and also ate things offered to idols, who were so called, as some think, from Nicholas of Antioch, one of the 7 deacons, in Acts chapter 6, verse 5. Though as to Nicholas himself it is said that he lived with his own lawful married wife and no other, and that his daughters continued virgins all their days, and his son incorrupt, and that these men, so called, only shrouded themselves under his name, and abused the saying or action of his or both, to patronize their wicked deeds he had used to advise, by which he meant a restraining of all carnal and unlawful lusts. But these men interpreted it to be an indulgence in them, and so gave themselves up to all uncleanliness. And whereas he, having a beautiful wife, and being charged with jealousy, in order to clear himself of it, he brought her forth and gave free liberty to any person to marry her as would, which indiscreet action of his these men chose to understand as allowing of community of wives. Dr. Lightfoot conjectures that these Nicolaitans were not called so from any man, but from the word "let us eat," which they often use to encourage each other to eat things offered to idol. Nicolah. However this be, it is certain that there were such a set of men whose deeds were hateful, but neither their principles nor their practices obtained much in this period of time, though they afterwards did. See Revelation 2:17. Make that Revelation 2:15. Professors of the Christian religion in general abhorred such impure notions and deeds as they were by Christ, which also I hate. All sin is hateful to Christ, being contrary to his nature, to his will, and to his gospel. And whatever is hateful to him should be to his people. And where grace is, sin will be hateful, both in themselves and others, and men's deeds may be hated when their persons are not. And hatred of sin is taken notice of by Christ with a commendation, unquote. End of John Gill, Revelations chapter 2, verse 6.